Bones Weakening, use this science-backed plan to long live strong. A comprehensive guide to bone health and vitality in later life. Insights for thriving seniors. Shariuam. Introduction. The foundation of vibrant aging. Understanding the silent architects. Our bones are often perceived as inert static structures, serving merely as the framework of the human body. However, this perception significantly underestimates their profound importance. Far from being lifeless bones or dynamic living tissues that form the fundamental architecture supporting mobility, maintaining posture, and underpinning overall vitality throughout life. As individuals gracefully navigate their later years, a subtle apprehension often arises concerning the future of physical strength, independence, and the ability to move freely. This quiet concern about a gradual decline, which might seem almost inevitable, is a pervasive reality for many older adults. Yet this report aims to challenge that very inevitability. It highlights that much of this perceived decline stems from a misunderstanding of the body's extraordinary capacity for resilience and continuous renewal. The focus shifts from merely slowing down an anticipated decline to actively fortifying these foundational structures, ensuring that the body's inner scaffolding remains robust, resilient, and prepared for all the adventures life continues to offer. Beyond inevitability. Embracing resilience and renewal. The journey through later life presents a profound opportunity for sustained strength and freedom, rather than a passive acceptance of physical limitations. The human skeletal system, often overlooked until its presence is signaled by discomfort or fracture, holds a key to unlocking decades of vibrant, active living. This perspective necessitates a shift in understanding. Bones are not merely passive recipients of the aging process, but are incredibly responsive and adaptable. The emphasis is placed on actively promoting bone growth and resilience through a symphony of interconnected factors, moving beyond simplistic solutions. This approach empowers individuals to actively participate in shaping their bone destiny, transforming the narrative of aging from one of inevitable decline to one of profound opportunity for renewed strength and enduring vitality. 2. The dynamic world within bone remodeling. Explained osteoblasts and osteoclasts. The constant cycle of bone renewal. The human skeletal system is a marvel of biological engineering, characterized by its constant state of flux. Bones are not static, unchanging structures, but are living tissues undergoing continuous renewal through a sophisticated process known as bone remodeling or bone turnover. This intricate process involves a delicate and finely tuned balance between the breakdown of old bone tissue and the formation of new bone. Two primary cell types orchestrate this continuous cycle. Osteoblasts are specialized cells derived from bone marrow stem cells. Their fundamental role is bone formation, adding new growth to existing bone tissue, and facilitating the healing of damaged or fractured bones. These cells synthesize and secrete a collagen-rich organic matrix called osteoid. This osteoid then undergoes mineralization, incorporating calcium phosphate and other crucial minerals to solidify and harden into new healthy bone tissue. One can visualize osteoblasts as the diligent construction workers pouring new concrete to build or repair the skeletal framework. Osteoclasts are large multinucleated cells originating from the hematopoietic lineage, similar to macrophages. Their function is bone resorption, which involves breaking down and dissolving old or damaged bone tissue. This process creates small cavities within the bone and releases calcium and other minerals into the bloodstream, making space for the deposition of new bone by osteoblasts. Osteoclasts act as the demolition crew, clearing away worn-out material to prepare for new construction. Beyond these two primary actors, osteocytes play a critical regulatory role. These are mature bone cells that were once osteoblasts but have become embedded within the newly formed bone matrix. They function as the master regulators of bone health, constantly sensing mechanical forces and responding to changes in tension and pressure within the bone. When they detect stress or damage, osteocytes trigger chemical reactions that alert both osteoblasts and osteoclasts, directing them to initiate repair and growth processes. The bone remodeling process unfolds in a well-regulated sequence of 5 phases. Resting. The process begins with bone-lining cells on the bone surface in a dormant state maintaining structural integrity. Resorption osteoclasts are activated, attaching to the bone surface and secreting enzymes and acids to break down mineralized bone matrix, forming small cavities. Reversal, a transitional period where bone-lining cells release growth factors attracting osteoblast precursors to the resorption site. Formation, osteoblasts synthesize and secrete osteoid, which forms a framework for new bone and is deposited in the cavities. Mineralization. The newly formed osteoid hardens through the deposition of calcium and phosphate ions, restoring the bone's structural integrity and strength. This continuous cycle ensures that the skeleton remains strong, repairs micro-damage, and adapts to the body's changing needs. Despite this continuous active biological process of breakdown and formation, the condition of osteoporosis is often referred to as a silent disease. This term arises from a critical paradox. While bones are constantly undergoing dynamic remodeling, the progressive weakening characteristic of osteoporosis typically produces no noticeable symptoms until a significant event, such as a minor fall, leads to a major fracture. This asymptomatic progression means that substantial bone loss can occur without warning, highlighting the urgent necessity for proactive health measures, early screening, and a deep understanding of bone biology. The body's internal processes are always in motion, but without the right inputs, and monitoring this motion may not always lead to beneficial outcomes for bone health. Why the balance shifts, aging, and bone loss. In younger individuals, the coordinated activity of osteoblasts and osteoclasts maintains a healthy equilibrium, ensuring bone formation keeps pace with bone resorption. However, as individuals age, this delicate balance often shifts. The rate at which osteoclasts break down old bone begins to outpace the rate at which osteoblasts form new bone. This imbalance leads to a gradual decrease in bone mineral density, BMD, a deterioration of the bone's intricate microarchitecture, and an increased susceptibility to fragility fractures, which are fractures that occur from a fall from standing height or less. This acceleration of bone loss becomes particularly pronounced after the age of 50. For women, the period around menopause is a critical juncture, as the significant decline in estrogen levels directly impacts bone density. Estrogen plays a vital role in maintaining healthy bones, and its rapid reduction can lead to a swift decrease in bone mass. While women face a higher risk, men are also susceptible to osteoporosis, especially those with abnormally low testosterone levels. The challenges to bone health in later life stem from multifaceted roots extending far beyond simple aging. A critical implication of this is the profound interconnectedness of systemic health and bone homeostasis. Bone health is not an isolated physiological system. Rather, it is highly integrated and interdependent with the body's overall systemic well-being. Disruptions or imbalances in one area of the body can have direct and indirect ripple effects on bone remodeling. For instance, chronic inflammation, often driven by dietary choices and lifestyle factors, can silently erode bone density. User query Module 1.3. Similarly, poor nutrient absorption, a common issue in older adults due to changes in digestive function, means that even a nutrient-rich diet might not be fully utilized by the bones. User query Module 1.3. Furthermore, a sedentary lifestyle characterized by a lack of weight-bearing exercise fails to provide the necessary mechanical signals for bone maintenance and growth. User query Module 1.3. Even certain medications essential for managing other health conditions can inadvertently contribute to bone loss. User query Module 1.3. This intricate web of influences underscores the necessity of embracing a truly holistic approach to bone vitality, recognizing that optimal skeletal health is a reflection of overall systemic balance. 3 pillars of bone vitality, a holistic framework. A. Nutritional synergy for strong bones. Nutrition is paramount for bone health, extending far beyond the simplistic advice of just drink more milk. Optimal bone vitality relies on a diverse array of nutrients, working in concert, forming a complex ecosystem where each component plays a vital role. Calcium, the essential building block. Calcium stands as the most abundant mineral in the human body, serving as the primary structural component of bone and conferring its essential strength. Over 99% of the body's total calcium resides within the mineralized tissues of the skeleton, highlighting its foundational role. Beyond bone, calcium is also crucial for the proper functioning of the heart, muscles, and nerves. Recommended daily calcium intake varies by age and sex. For adults aged 1950, the recommendation is 1,000 milligrams mg daily. For women aged 51 and older or any non-menstruating woman, the recommendation increases to 200 milligram per day, while men aged 51 and older typically need 1,000 milligram daily. Excellent dietary sources of calcium include milk, cheese, and yogurt, which are well-known sources containing a form of calcium that is readily absorbed by the body. Low-fat or fat-free options retain the same calcium content. Green leafy vegetables like broccoli, cabbage, and okra also provide good calcium, though spinach and rhubarb contain oxalic acid, which can inhibit calcium absorption. Plant-based milks, such as soy, rice, and oat drinks, certain cereals and breads are often fortified with calcium, offering valuable alternatives. Fish with edible bones, such as sardines and pilchards, are excellent sources when canned with their soft bones. Nuts like almonds and Brazil nuts, seeds such as sesame seeds and tahini, and legumes and calcium-set tofu also contribute to calcium intake. A critical implication for effective calcium intake extends beyond merely consuming a specific gram amount. It critically depends on its bioavailability, how well the body can absorb and utilize it. For instance, while mineral drinking waters contain calcium, their bioavailability is noted as excellent. Conversely, certain dietary components, such as oxalic acid found in spinach and rhubarb, or phytates in wheat, bran, can inhibit calcium absorption, making the overall dietary context crucial. This understanding refines the simplistic more milk advice into a more nuanced appreciation of dietary synergy, where the combination of foods and their processing can significantly impact calcium's ultimate benefit to bone health. While dietary calcium is generally safe, excessive calcium intake, particularly from supplements, can pose potential risks. These include an increased risk for kidney stones, and though debated, some studies have suggested potential adverse cardiovascular effects. Therefore, total daily calcium intake from all sources, food and supplements, should generally not exceed 2,000 milligrams. Vitamin D, the calcium conductor. Vitamin D is indispensable for bone health primarily because it is essential for the absorption of calcium from the intestine and for regulating calcium levels in the blood. It also plays a vital role in supporting the overall growth and maintenance of the skeleton. The recommended daily intake for adults is 600, 800 international units IU, or 15-20 micrograms up to age 70. For those over 70, the recommendation increases to 800, 1000 IU, 20-25 micrograms daily. While small amounts of vitamin D can be obtained from certain foods like oily fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, egg yolks, and fortified foods such as some fat spreads and breakfast cereals, the primary natural source is through safe sun exposure. Approximately 10 or 15 minutes of daily sun exposure, depending on skin type and geographical location, can stimulate the body's own vitamin D production. However, many individuals, particularly older adults, those with naturally darker skin, or those who are housebound or avoid sun exposure for medical reasons, are at significant risk of deficiency. For these groups, or during autumn and winter months when sunlight is limited, supplementation is often necessary. Statistics indicate that over 30% of adults in some regions, such as Australia, experience mild, moderate, or severe vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D deficiency carries serious implications for bone health, contributing to osteoporosis, bone and joint pain, and a significantly increased risk of falls and related fractures in older people. A critical implication of vitamin D's role in bone health extends beyond its direct facilitation of calcium absorption. While its primary function in calcium metabolism is well-established, research also indicates that vitamin D supplementation can significantly improve muscle strength. This improvement in muscle function directly contributes to a decrease in the incidence of falls, which are a major cause of fractures in older adults. Furthermore, osteoporosis is increasingly recognized as an inflammatory condition, and vitamin D's immunoregulatory mechanisms may modulate the effects of pro-inflammatory cytokines on bone health and subsequent fracture risk. This reveals a deeper understanding. Vitamin D's impact on bone health is multifaceted, encompassing not only its direct role in mineral absorption, but also crucial systemic benefits like enhancing muscle function, thereby reducing fall risk and modulating chronic inflammation. These additional roles are vital for a comprehensive strategy in bone health and fracture prevention in seniors. Vitamin K2 directing calcium to where it belongs. Vitamin K, particularly its K2 menaquinone subtype, is increasingly recognized for its essential contributions to both bone and heart health. Its primary mechanism involves acting as a coenzyme for the gamma-glutamyl carboxylase enzyme, which activates specific vitamin K-dependent proteins, VKDPs, such as osteocalcin and matrix GLA protein, MGP. Activated osteocalcin binds to calcium ions and hydroxyapatite crystals, playing a role in the intricate process of bone formation and mineralization. Simultaneously, MGP is crucial for preventing the undesirable deposition of calcium in soft tissues, such as arteries, effectively directing calcium to where it is needed, the bones, and away from where it can cause harm. This function is particularly important for cardiovascular health, as calcium deposits in arteries can lead to hardening of blood vessels and increased risk of heart disease. Evidence suggests that low levels of vitamin K are associated with a higher risk of bone fractures. Some early studies predominantly conducted in Japan have indicated that K2 supplements, specifically the MK4 form, may reduce fractures and improve bone quality in individuals with osteoporosis. In fact, MK4 is utilized as a treatment for osteoporosis in some parts of Asia. However, the overall findings regarding vitamin K supplementation, both K1 and K2, and its consistent effect on bone mineral density and fracture risk in broader populations remain mixed and in some cases inconclusive. Some studies have shown no significant benefit from supplementation, leading to an ongoing academic debate concerning its optimal intake and the general efficacy of supplementation for comprehensive bone health. This highlights that while the biological role of K2 is understood, its clinical utility as a standalone supplement for widespread fracture prevention is still under scientific scrutiny. This discussion points to a critical understanding. While emerging research identifies the biological importance of specific micronutrients like vitamin K2, their efficacy when provided as supplements, particularly for achieving clinical outcomes such as fracture reduction, is still being rigorously investigated and is not as straightforward as the roles of established nutrients like calcium and vitamin D. This underscores the complexity of nutritional interventions and emphasizes that a diverse whole food diet should remain the primary strategy for obtaining these nutrients, rather than solely relying on isolated supplements. It also highlights the need for personalized medical advice when considering supplementation. Dietary sources of vitamin K2 include natto, a traditional Japanese fermented soybean dish, which is considered the richest known source of vitamin K2. Other fermented foods like sauerkraut and kefir also contribute to K2 production. Animal products such as chicken breasts, certain hardened blue cheeses like Gouda, and blue cheese and egg yolks are moderate sources of vitamin K2. Prunes also contain vitamin K. Magnesium, the unsung cofactor. Magnesium is a crucial yet often underestimated mineral for bone health. Approximately 60% of the body's total magnesium is stored within the bones and teeth, where it plays a direct role in bone stabilization, growth, and mineralization. It is the second most abundant intracellular cation after potassium. Magnesium deficiency is notably common, particularly in Western diets that often feature a high intake of processed foods from which much of the natural magnesium has been removed. A deficiency can directly impair bone health by reducing bone stiffness, increasing the activity of osteoclasts, bone-breaking cells, and decreasing the function of osteoblasts, bone-building cells. Indirectly, magnesium deficiency can interfere with the proper functioning of parathyroid hormone, PTH, and vitamin D, further promoting inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which contribute to bone loss. Studies have consistently shown that lower serum magnesium levels are associated with the presence of osteoporosis. A particularly important aspect of magnesium's role is its synergistic relationship with vitamin D and calcium. Magnesium is an essential cofactor for the synthesis and activation of vitamin D. In turn, activated vitamin D can increase the intestinal absorption of magnesium, creating a positive feedback loop that helps maintain mineral homeostasis. This highlights a crucial understanding. Individual nutrients do not act in isolation, Bone health relies on a complex synergistic symphony of nutrients, where the presence and proper balance of one such as magnesium can significantly impact the efficacy and absorption of others like calcium and vitamin D. User Query Module 1.4. This reinforces the holistic approach, emphasizing that comprehensive bone health requires attention to the entire nutritional ecosystem, not just isolated components. For optimal calcium supply in healthy bones, calcium should ideally be purposefully consumed in combination with sufficient magnesium and vitamin D. While some intervention studies involving magnesium supplementation have demonstrated benefits in terms of bone mineral density and reduced fracture risk, large prospective cohort studies have presented a more nuanced picture. These studies have found that while lower magnesium intake is indeed associated with lower BMD, this correlation does not consistently translate into an increased risk of fractures. Conversely, very high magnesium intakes have in some instances been linked to an increased risk of certain fractures, e.g. lower arm and wrist fractures, possibly due to confounding factors such as higher physical activity levels and increased fall rates in those study groups. This ongoing debate underscores the complexity in determining optimal intake levels for magnesium through supplementation. The generally recommended daily intake for magnesium is 300–500 milliliters. When considering supplements, chelated forms of magnesium are typically better absorbed than magnesium oxide. Rich food sources of magnesium include seeds and nuts, such as pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, almonds, cashews, and Brazil nuts. Dark green leafy vegetables like dandelion greens provide significant magnesium. Whole grains, legumes, dark chocolate, and avocados are also noteworthy sources. 19 User Query Module 1.6. Protein and other micronutrients. Supporting the bone matrix. Adequate dietary protein is fundamental for bone health, playing a dual role in both structural integrity and functional support. It is essential for optimal bone mass gain during growth and, critically, for preserving bone and muscle mass as individuals age. Protein forms the essential organic matrix upon which bone minerals are laid, providing the foundational scaffolding for strong bones. User Query Module 1.5. Excellent sources of protein include lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy products, legumes, nuts, and seeds. In older adults, insufficient protein intake is strongly linked to muscle weakness, sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength, and overall frailty. These conditions significantly increase the risk of falling and, consequently, the risk of sustaining fractures. A critical implication of protein's role is its dual benefit. It not only contributes directly to bone structure, but also, and equally importantly, serves a crucial preventative role in fall reduction. By maintaining muscle strength and preventing sarcopenia, adequate protein intake directly reduces the likelihood of falls, which are the leading cause of fractures in seniors. This establishes a direct causal chain where proper protein intake contributes to both the integrity of the bone itself and the reduction of the most common injury mechanism for weakened bones. Higher protein intake, generally defined as 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, is positively associated with higher bone mineral density (BMD), a slower rate of bone loss, and a reduced risk of hip fracture, provided that dietary calcium intakes are also adequate. For older adults with osteoporosis or those at risk of malnutrition, even higher protein intake may be recommended. Beyond the major minerals and protein, other nutrients and dietary components also contribute to bone health. Omega-3 fatty acids, found abundantly in fatty fish and nuts, possess anti-inflammatory properties that may help reduce bone resorption, thereby preserving bone density. Antioxidants, such as vitamin C and vitamin E, play a role in reducing oxidative stress, which can otherwise contribute to bone degradation. A well-balanced diet rich in whole unprocessed foods, including plenty of fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins, typically provides these beneficial compounds. B. Movement. The mechanical stimulus for bone strength. Bones are remarkably adaptive and responsive tissues, constantly rebuilding and strengthening in response to the signals they receive. This dynamic nature means that regular movement and mechanical stress are not just beneficial, but essential for maintaining skeletal strength. Physical activity, particularly weight-bearing and resistance exercises, directly stimulates the bone remodeling process, prompting the replacement of old bone tissue with new, stronger bone, thereby preserving or improving bone mineral density. A critical understanding here is that exercise serves as a direct signal for bone remodeling. It is not merely a general health activity, but a direct biological communication to the bone's cellular machinery, the osteocytes, osteoblasts, and osteoclasts. The mechanical stress from movement provides the necessary cues that tell the bone ecosystem to actively reinforce itself. This emphasizes the active and responsive nature of bone tissue, making exercise a direct and powerful intervention in the ongoing bone remodeling process, rather than just a peripheral health benefit. Weight-bearing exercises, building density with impact. Weight-bearing exercises are activities performed on one's feet where the body's weight exerts a force on the bones, creating the essential mechanical stress required for bone growth and maintenance. This impact loading stimulates bone cells to build new tissue, increasing density and strength. Examples of beneficial weight-bearing activities vary by impact level. Low-impact options include brisk walking, marching stair climbing, gentle heel drops, and gardening, which are accessible and effective starting points. Moderate impact activities such as jogging, dancing, e.g., ballroom social line dancing, skipping, hopping, and team sports provide a greater stimulus for bone growth. High-impact activities like jumping, running, or vigorous aerobic dancing provide the highest impact. However, for individuals with weakened bones due to osteoporosis, these activities should generally be approached with extreme caution or avoided as they can increase the risk of fractures. If an individual is generally fit and strong, despite osteoporosis, they might be able to tolerate somewhat higher impact exercise, but this should always be under professional guidance. Consistency is paramount for reaping the benefits of weight-bearing exercise. Aim for at least 20 minutes of low-impact exercise on most days of the week, or approximately 50 moderate impacts per session, 4-7 days per week. Even short bursts of activity, such as standing up and moving around for a few minutes every hour, can significantly stimulate bone activity and counteract the negative effects of prolonged sitting. It is important to note that activities like swimming and cycling, while excellent for cardiovascular health and general fitness, are not weight-bearing. The water or bicycle supports the body's weight, meaning they provide less direct mechanical stress for increasing bone density. Resistance training, strengthening muscles, supporting bones. Resistance training involves moving the body or external objects like free weights, resistance bands, or gym equipment against gravity or an opposing force. This type of exercise is crucial for building and maintaining muscle mass and strength. The pulling action of muscles on bones during resistance training provides beneficial strain that directly supports bone health and stimulates bone formation. For seniors, accessible resistance exercises include bodyweight exercises like wall push-ups, chair squats, sit-to-stand exercises, and calf raises. Using light weights or resistance bands, exercises such as bicep curls, shoulder lifts, hamstring curls, and hip leg lifts are beneficial. More advanced resistance training can include bridges, various forms of rows, and squats with a gradual increase in challenge. General recommendations suggest incorporating muscle strengthening activities on at least 2 to 3 days per week, ensuring all major muscle groups are worked. For optimal bone strength, the aim is to perform 8 to 12 repetitions, to the point of muscle fatigue, gradually increasing the weight or resistance over time as strength improves, a principle known as progressive overload. Proper form and controlled movements are far more important than high intensity, especially for older adults and those with osteoporosis, to prevent injury. Professional guidance from a physical therapist or a certified personal trainer experienced in senior fitness is highly recommended. These professionals can help develop a safe and effective routine, ensuring proper technique and minimizing risk. Balance and flexibility, preventing falls, preserving independence. While direct bone strengthening exercises are vital, a critical implication for bone health in seniors is that fall prevention is a primary and essential strategy for preventing osteoporotic fractures. Falls are a major cause of fractures in older adults, particularly those with weakened bones due to osteoporosis. Therefore, elevating balance and flexibility training alongside environmental modifications to the same level of importance as direct bone strengthening exercises is crucial, as preventing the event that causes the fracture is as vital as strengthening the bone itself. Maintaining good balance and flexibility significantly reduces the risk of falls. Activities like Tai Chi, yoga, and Pilates are excellent for improving overall strength balance and flexibility. Tai Chi in particular has been extensively studied and proven to reduce fall risk among older adults. Specific balance exercises can include standing on one leg with support if needed, walking heel to toe, walking in small circles or with sudden changes in direction, stepping over obstacles, and dual task exercises, such as standing on one leg while performing a cognitive task like counting backwards. These activities also contribute to improved posture and can help alleviate pain, especially after spinal fractures. Balance training is recommended for at least 2 hours per week to be effective and can be easily integrated into daily routines, such as practicing static balance exercises while performing household chores. See beyond diet and exercise systemic influences. Bone health is not an isolated system within the body. It is profoundly influenced by a complex interplay of various systemic factors that extend beyond direct nutritional intake in physical activity. Understanding these broader influences is crucial for a truly holistic approach to maintaining skeletal vitality in later life. Hormonal shifts navigating menopause and andropause. Hormonal changes represent a fundamental biological trigger that can significantly accelerate the rate of bone loss, distinguishing it from other lifestyle factors that influence bone maintenance. This means that while lifestyle interventions are crucial for mitigation, the inherent hormonal shifts must be specifically acknowledged and, where appropriate, medically managed, as they are powerful intrinsic drivers of bone density changes in aging. The female hormone estrogen is essential for healthy bones. Its rapid decline during menopause, typically occurring around age 50, leads to a swift and significant decrease in bone density in women. Women who experience early menopause before age 45 or undergo a hysterectomy before age 45, especially if the ovaries are also removed, face an even greater risk of developing osteoporosis due to this accelerated estrogen loss. In men, the male hormone testosterone plays a key role in maintaining bone health. While men generally continue to produce testosterone into older age, low levels of this hormone can increase their risk of osteoporosis. Beyond sex hormones, disorders of other hormone-producing glands can also significantly impact bone health. Conditions such as an overactive thyroid gland, overactive parathyroid glands, hyperparathyroidism, or disorders of the pituitary gland can trigger or exacerbate osteoporosis. These hormonal imbalances disrupt the delicate bone remodeling cycle, leading to increased bone resorption and decreased bone formation. The gut-bone axis, a surprising connection. Emerging research highlights a complex and increasingly recognized gut-bone axis, demonstrating that the trillions of microorganisms residing in the human gut, collectively known as the gut microbiome, exert a profound influence on bone metabolism and density. This understanding reveals that the gut is not merely a digestive organ, but a central modulator that can impact bone health through multiple interconnected pathways. An imbalance in the gut microbiota, a condition termed dysbiosis, has been strongly associated with increased bone resorption breakdown and reduced bone formation. This influence occurs through several mechanisms, including immune modulation, systemic inflammation, and impaired nutrient absorption. For instance, a healthy gut microbiome facilitates better absorption of essential bone-supporting nutrients, ensuring the body can fully utilize dietary calcium, vitamin D, and other minerals. Furthermore, specific metabolites produced by the gut microbiome, such as short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs like acetate propionate and butyrate, have been shown to directly inhibit osteoclastogenesis, the formation of bone-resorbing cells, and enhance osteoblast function, bone-building cells. SCFAs also contribute to bone health by lowering intestinal pH, which in turn enhances the solubility and absorption of minerals like calcium. Aging and menopause are particularly linked to disturbances in the gut microbiota, which can trigger inflammatory pathways that further increase osteoclast activity and bone loss. This suggests that maintaining a healthy gut microbiome could be a powerful indirect strategy for supporting bone vitality, linking seemingly disparate bodily systems into a cohesive understanding of holistic health. While this field is burgeoning with promising findings, more rigorous, large-scale studies are needed to fully establish causality, elucidate precise mechanisms, and determine the clinical significance of these associations for therapeutic interventions. Chronic inflammation, a silent eroder of bone. Chronic inflammation, often subtly fueled by dietary choices, environmental factors, and underlying health conditions, can silently and significantly erode bone density. User query Module 1.3. This persistent inflammatory state disrupts the delicate balance of bone remodeling, where old bone is broken down and new bone is formed. A critical understanding here is that inflammation is not just a general bad thing, but a pervasive systemic threat that actively manipulates bone cell behavior, leading to structural degradation. Chronic inflammation increases the activity of osteoclasts, the bone-breaking cells, while simultaneously reducing the activity of osteoblasts, the bone-forming cells, effectively tipping the balance in favor of net bone loss. Key inflammatory molecules known as cytokines, such as tumor necrosis factor, TNF-A interleukin-1 IL-1, and interleukin-6 IL-6, are central mediators in this process. They directly promote osteoclastic resorption and interfere with bone formation. This mechanistic explanation highlights that inflammation is a systemic driver of bone imbalance. Chronic inflammatory conditions are strongly linked to accelerated bone loss due to the systemic inflammation they cause. Examples include rheumatoid arthritis, RA, lupus, inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, and psoriatic arthritis. Patients with RA, for instance, often experience generalized bone loss, increasing their risk of fractures, particularly in the spine and hips. This understanding elevates anti-inflammatory strategies, both dietary and lifestyle-based, to a critical role in bone preservation as they address a fundamental biological driver of skeletal imbalance. The power of rest, sleep, and bone regeneration. The importance of sleep in maintaining bone health is often underestimated. Sleep is not merely a period of passive rest, but a fundamental period for active physiological repair, regeneration, and hormonal regulation, including crucial bone remodeling processes. Research indicates a strong association between chronic sleep deprivation and significantly lower bone mineral density, as well as an increased risk of osteoporosis. For example, studies have shown that consistently getting less than 5 hours of sleep per night is associated with a 63% increased risk for hip osteoporosis and a 28% increased risk for osteoporosis in the spine. Poor sleep also contributes to increased chronic systemic inflammation. As discussed, chronic inflammation directly enhances osteoclast activity and accelerates bone destruction, creating a detrimental cycle. Furthermore, inadequate sleep can impair balance coordination and reaction time, thereby increasing the risk of falls and subsequent fractures in older adults. This emphasizes that quality sleep plays both a direct role in cellular repair and a crucial indirect role through its impact on systemic inflammation and fall risk. This elevates quality sleep to a foundational pillar of bone health beyond just general wellness. While experimental studies suggest a clear link between sleep disturbances and bone health, epidemiological data on a direct causal relationship with osteoporosis, risk remains somewhat inconclusive, and the precise direct influence on bone remodeling is still being fully established. Nevertheless, the consistent association between poor sleep behaviors and increased osteoporosis risk underscores its significant importance. Stress management, protecting your skeletal system. Chronic stress can have a detrimental impact on bone health, revealing a complex neuroendocrine skeletal connection where psychological and emotional states are not separate from physical health. Instead, mental well-being or distress can directly influence bone metabolism through hormonal pathways and indirectly through lifestyle factors. One primary mechanism involves the elevation of cortisol levels due to chronic stress. Cortisol is a hormone that can negatively affect bone formation, disrupting the delicate balance of bone remodeling. User query Module 1.5. Studies have shown that chronic stress increases the risk of developing osteoporosis, and bone mass loss can be greater in individuals experiencing depression, particularly when compounded by ongoing stress. Depression itself can increase inflammation, which, as previously discussed, further erodes bone density. Beyond direct physiological effects, psychological distress can also indirectly impact bone health by influencing lifestyle choices. Individuals experiencing chronic stress or depression may struggle with motivation, leading to reduced physical activity, poor dietary choices, and social isolation, all factors that negatively affect bone density and overall well-being. This highlights that comprehensive bone health strategies must integrate mental and emotional well-being as critical components, acknowledging their profound influence on skeletal integrity. Medications and bone health. Understanding the risks and benefits medication represents a double-edged sword in the context of bone health, capable of both causing significant harm, often silently, and providing crucial life-changing treatment. This necessitates a comprehensive and ongoing medical review by a healthcare provider to meticulously assess an individual's entire medication list for potential risk, benefits, and interactions, and to tailor a safe and effective treatment plan. It also highlights the critical importance of open patient-provider dialogue regarding all prescribed and over-the-counter medications. While medications are crucial for managing various health conditions, it is important for seniors to be aware that certain drugs can significantly impact bone density and increase the risk of osteoporosis or fractures. Common culprits that can negatively affect bone health include synthetic glucocorticoids, e.g., prednisone, dexamethasone, which are widely used anti-inflammatory drugs. Long-term use, especially at doses of 7.5 mg per day or more for 3 months or longer, is strongly associated with reduced activity of bone-forming cells, osteoblasts, and increased activity of bone-breaking cells. Osteoclasts, leading to significant bone loss. Hormone therapy for cancer, such as aromatase inhibitors, e.g., anastrozole, letrozole used in breast cancer treatment, and androgen deprivation therapy for prostate cancer, can cause bone loss by preventing estrogen or male sex hormone production, respectively increasing fracture risk. Proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, like Prevacid ER and Nexium ER, used for heartburn when used long-term and at high doses, have been associated with an increased hip fracture risk in older adults, possibly due to impaired calcium absorption. Some anti-seizure medications, e.g., carbamazepine, can decrease bone density due to their effects on vitamin D levels and reduce calcium absorption. Additionally, certain antidepressants and sleep medications are linked to an increased risk of hip fractures, potentially due to side effects such as confusion, drowsiness, or low blood pressure that increase fall risk. Excessive thyroid hormone replacement, if it leads to excessively high thyroid hormone levels, can reduce bone mineral density and bone quality and may increase fall risk due to muscle weakness and abnormal heart rhythms. It is crucial for healthcare providers to carefully monitor bone health and meticulously review an individual's entire medication list for potential risks when these drugs are prescribed. Conversely, it is important to recognize that many medications are specifically designed and used to treat osteoporosis. These include anti-resorptive agents such as bisphosphonates, e.g., alendronate, risdronate, zoldronate, and denosumab, which work by decreasing bone resorption. Raloxifene, a selective estrogen receptor modulator, SERM, also falls into this category. Anabolic agents promote bone formation and include parathyroid hormone PTH analogs like teriparatide and abaloparatide. Romosozumab is a newer medication that both stimulates bone formation and acts as an anti-resorptive agent. These medications are often given as injections for severe osteoporosis or high fracture risk. IFWE. Navigating the journey. Overcoming challenges. Even with the most well-intentioned plans, the journey to senior wellness, particularly in the realm of bone health, inevitably presents its share of obstacles. These challenges can range from psychological barriers to practical hurdles, but understanding them and developing proactive strategies is key to sustained progress. Addressing fear of falling and injury. A pervasive reality for many older adults is a quiet apprehension about physical fragility, often manifesting as a fear of falling. This fear can arise after a previous fall or simply from observing the experiences of others, and it can significantly erode confidence, leading to a more cautious and less active lifestyle. Individuals might hesitate to reach for items, choose elevators over stairs, or even withdraw from social activities, not out of laziness, but from a subconscious concern about a misstep, a fall, or a fracture. This can become a self-fulfilling prophecy where reduced activity leads to muscle weakness and loss of balance, thereby increasing the actual risk of falling. Overcoming this fear is crucial for maintaining physical activity and preserving independence. Strategies include starting slowly and gradually increasing intensity. This builds confidence and allows the body to adapt safely. Professional guidance. Working with a physical therapist or a certified personal trainer experienced in senior fitness is highly beneficial. They can teach proper form design, safe exercise routines, tailored to individual capabilities, and help build confidence. Balance training. Specific balance exercises such as Tai Chi standing on one leg or walking heel to toe directly address unsteadiness and improve coordination. Cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT). This therapeutic approach can help individuals examine and reframe negative thoughts and behaviors associated with the fear of falling, fostering greater self-confidence and reducing activity avoidance. Environmental modifications. Simple adjustments at home such as improving lighting, removing clutter, securing loose rugs, and installing grab bars or handrails can significantly reduce tripping hazards and enhance a sense of security. Addressing the fear of falling is not just about psychological comfort. It is a direct intervention for preventing fractures and preserving a senior's autonomy and quality of life. Combating misinformation and seeking trusted sources. In the digital age, health information is abundant, but distinguishing accurate evidence-based advice from misleading or false claims can be challenging, especially for seniors. Misinformation, often sensationalized or promising quick fixes, can lead individuals astray from truly effective strategies, potentially causing harm or delaying appropriate care. This is particularly dangerous when it comes to chronic conditions like osteoporosis, as adopting harmful practices or neglecting effective treatments can have serious consequences. To combat misinformation and ensure access to reliable health information, verify with multiple reputable sources. Always cross-check health claims with established, respected institutions. Look for expert opinions. Information should be backed by qualified professionals, such as doctors, researchers, or academic institutions. Check the date medical advice evolves, so ensure the information is current by checking its publication or last update date. Beware of bias. Be cautious of sources that directly sell products or are affiliated with companies that do as commercial interests can influence information. Similarly, be wary of content designed to evoke strong emotions like anger or fear, as these can override critical thinking. Consult healthcare providers. A personal healthcare provider is an excellent and trustworthy resource for accurate medical information and personalized advice. Utilize public health organizations and academic resources organizations like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, National Institutes of Health, NIH, and professional medical organizations, e.g., American Medical Association. Bone Health and Osteoporosis Foundation offer reliable evidence-based information. Academic journals and university libraries also provide access to peer-reviewed scientific studies. Empowering older adults with health media literacy, the ability to critically assess the credibility of sources and the validity of health claims is crucial for making informed health decisions and reducing emotional distress associated with conflicting information. Building a supportive community. The journey to maintaining vitality in later life, particularly when managing conditions like osteoporosis, is significantly enhanced by community and social engagement. Social connections are not merely about companionship. They play a crucial role in supporting physical health and overall well-being. Reduce stress and improve mood. Engaging in meaningful social activities can reduce stress, combat feelings of loneliness and isolation, and improve mood. Chronic stress and depression can negatively impact bone health through hormonal and inflammatory pathways, so social engagement indirectly contributes to bone preservation by fostering mental well-being. Motivation and adherence to healthy habits. Being part of a supportive community, whether a walking group, an exercise class, an online forum, or simply having supportive friends and family, can provide powerful motivation to adhere to healthy habits like regular exercise and nutritious eating. Shared experiences and encouragement can make health goals feel more achievable and less isolating. Increased physical activity. Many community programs such as walking clubs, Tai Chi classes, or senior fitness programs offered in retirement communities directly promote physical activity tailored for older adults. This direct encouragement of movement translates into better bone density and reduced fall risk. Social prescribing. This innovative person-centered approach in healthcare is gaining traction, highlighting how social connections and non-medical activities can positively influence health outcomes, including physical resilience. Social prescribing connects individuals with local community resources and activities like art classes, gardening, volunteering, and exercise groups addressing root causes of poor health, such as loneliness, inactivity, or stress. For seniors, especially those managing chronic conditions, social engagement fosters a sense of belonging and purpose, which are vital for maintaining a positive outlook and supporting the consistent effort required for bone health. Personalized approach and professional guidance. Recognizing that individual needs vary significantly based on genetics, existing health conditions, lifestyle, and medication regimens is paramount for optimizing bone health in later life. A one-size-fits-all approach is rarely effective. Tailored nutrition. While general dietary guidelines are helpful, a personalized nutrition plan is often necessary. Working with a registered dietitian can help fine-tune dietary intake, ensuring optimal amounts of all bone-supporting nutrients based on an individual's specific requirements and any absorption issues. This involves evaluating dietary history, assessing biochemical markers, and identifying risk factors to develop a plan that is truly customized. Customized exercise programs. Exercise recommendations must be tailored to an individual's current fitness level, bone density, and any existing limitations or fears of injury. Consulting with a physical therapist or a certified personal trainer specializing in senior fitness is highly recommended. They can design a safe, effective, and progressive exercise program that focuses on appropriate weight-bearing activities, resistance training, and crucial balance exercises, ensuring proper form and minimizing risk. Comprehensive medical review. Regular checkups with a healthcare provider are essential, especially for individuals over 50. This includes discussing bone health concerns, reviewing all medications, both prescription and over-the-counter, for potential interactions or bone loss side effects, and considering bone density tests, e.g. DEXA scans when recommended. A healthcare provider can offer personalized advice on supplementation, medication management, and exercise, ensuring the plan is safe and effective for the individual's unique health profile. This personalized professional guidance ensures that interventions are not only evidence-based, but also safely and effectively implemented, empowering seniors to take charge of their bone health with confidence. V. The transformation. Envisioning vibrant senior living. Actively nurturing bone health can lead to a profound transformation in later life, shifting the experience of aging from one of apprehension to one of newfound confidence and freedom. Imagine moving through daily life with a renewed sense of ease and capability. The subtle aches and stiffness that once lingered begin to recede, replaced by a feeling of lightness and fluidity in movement. The pervasive fear of falls diminishes significantly, allowing for more complete engagement in beloved activities, whether it's playing actively with grandchildren, pursuing a long-cherished hobby, or simply navigating one's home with greater security and autonomy. Posture improves, contributing to a taller, more energetic presence. Individuals find themselves reaching for items on high shelves, without hesitation walking longer distances, with less fatigue, and perhaps even rediscovering the joy of dancing or hiking. This transformation extends far beyond merely preventing fractures. It is about reclaiming independence, expanding one's world, and significantly enhancing overall quality of life. The mental and emotional energy previously consumed by worries about physical limitations is now channeled into meaningful pursuits, fostering a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Individuals feel more resilient both physically and mentally, with the deep satisfaction of knowing they have actively invested in their body's foundational strength. This vibrant after picture is not a distant dream, but an achievable reality when a consistent commitment is made to understanding and supporting the bones, allowing them to be strong, silent partners in a journey of graceful and vital aging. Vici. Conclusion: cultivating lifelong vitality. The exploration of bone health in later life reveals a profound truth. Our bones are not passive structures destined for inevitable decline, but living dynamic tissues with an incredible capacity for resilience and renewal. This understanding shifts the paradigm from merely slowing decline to actively cultivating vitality. The journey began by acknowledging the quiet concerns that often accompany aging, particularly regarding physical foundations. It then peeled back the layers, moving beyond simplistic notions of bone health to reveal the intricate dynamic symphony that truly support skeletal strength. Key takeaways include: bones are constantly undergoing remodeling, a dynamic process of breakdown and formation orchestrated by specialized cells. The balance of this remodeling can shift with age, leading to bone loss, but this is influenced by a multitude of interconnected factors. Optimal bone vitality relies on a holistic framework encompassing precise nutritional synergy, targeted mechanical stimulation through movement, and the profound influence of systemic factors like hormonal balance, gut health, chronic inflammation, adequate sleep, and effective stress management. Awareness of how certain medications can impact bone density is crucial, necessitating comprehensive medical review. Overcoming challenges such as the fear of falling and combating misinformation are vital steps that empower individuals to maintain activity and seek trusted guidance. Building a supportive community and embracing a personalized approach with professional guidance are fundamental to navigating this journey successfully. The path to vibrant aging is not about achieving perfection, but about consistent, compassionate effort. It involves listening to the body's wisdom, honoring its needs, and providing the nourishment and movement it requires. Every small, mindful choice contributes to the masterpiece of one's later years. The strength sought is not external. It resides within, waiting to be awakened and nurtured. Embracing this journey with curiosity and courage empowers individuals to shape a future filled with vitality, independence, and profound well-being.